G'day, listeners. Well, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer, and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors. But of course, I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. First off, Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
BP.
Happy 200. Happy 200.
Old.
So, yeah, we are. Hey, so what I've done is I'm kind of trying to give myself an average of how many hours that is. And it's around about 500 hours of recording. You probably know the exact number. But
sorry, I'll bring the calculator out in a minute.
Yeah, but apparently you're only really good at something until you've done 10,000 hours.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing this until we're about 94.
I know we're all equal on this, but I think I do about 5 to 8 hours a week. So
yeah, but no, that's the behind the scenes stuff. We're talking about front of house.
Copy. Yeah, front of house, copy.
So when we're 94, we're going to still be doing this. You realise that, don't you?
I hope so. Let's. Can you imagine Barkarati with dementia?
Hey, do you remember what happened then? Nah.
Wouldn't be far off now. What it is now.
Let's bring in Brycey. So he wants to contribute.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Boss.
I'm going to shake the champagne for our 200th. I'm pouring one. Oh, shit. It's a boy. Just
very
good. A little prop for the show.
Yep.
Nice. Gent. Yeah, just I tried to find like one of those mini bottles with a cork to pop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no good.
Couldn't
find one.
No bueno.
All right. Well, before we go on,
you said 500.
Yeah.
Mate, I reckon you could. You're about 350.
Yeah, well, I try
that's
hard.
The episode. Yeah. I'm probably about the same. I've probably put in a few hours with the t-shirts.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. By the way, if you want to get them, www.barkarati.com. Yeah, happy 200th. We're almost the ending if you do the maths, almost at the end of our 4th year.
Yeah.
It's just nuts, isn't it? It's
That's
just
insane.
nuts.
Fuck, you blokes have aged, man.
I'm going to put up a photo of day one.
Day one.
Photo. Yeah.
No, I reckon we should do the pilot.
Do you remember the first episode?
I don't.
I do.
First episode or the pilot?
Well, not the pilot we filmed, but the pilot we recorded.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, you said, would you sail around the world? I said, no.
Right.
Hey, listen,
cool.
just before we go on into the big thing, so Bicey, you just opened a bottle of champers. I went racing in the Sydney Harbour Regatta this week and enjoyed myself. And the owner was very adamant, a very, very, very passionate listener. He gave me a bottle
hello.
of
Squadron
Royal
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir. So I'm gonna.
Nice.
You clearly got third on handicap this week.
No, second on PHS.
Yeah.
Love it. Popped.
He's done it. Yeah, good. Love it.
There we go. Scott Lawson. I said you said you wanted me to do it, and I did it. So
yeah, bravo, Scott.
Bravo.
Well done, and well done on your second on PHS in race 3. Fine effort.
Love it.
Hey, Jordan, you've been in the media this week, my friend.
Oh,
Have I?
you have.
Yeah. By the time I read the press release about the Brisbane to Gladstone, I started to get a bit of a snore on, and then I saw your name mentioned in the last paragraph.
Oh, I got to mention. I didn't see it. I didn't look.
No, I didn't either.
Esteemed. You must fell asleep. Mate, where's your headshot in the Brisbane to Gladstone media pack?
Hey, hang on. Stop there. What are you holding?
It's disappeared behind your mic. No, mic.
Is that a mic, is it?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Ah! Oh, hang on.
No, but we're getting to the business end for
We
you,
are.
Jordan. One of the biggest events in Queensland's history.
Yeah,
Brisbane to
75th.
Gladstone, 75th.
There's a lot of races, but yeah, she's a good one, that one. So
Yeah.
if you want to do it, enter. Come up and have a bit of fun.
I've actually got a potential invite, so I might be there, Joe.
Wow. It's warm. It's Easter. It's warm. Easter
I
gets
might.
cold.
Easter
every
eggs,
month.
Easter eggs will melt.
And it's normally a sou'easter, so you're normally just smoking downhill all the way. You go right to the top of Fraser, jibe, on starboard, then jibe onto port and into Gladstone. Happy days.
Bravo.
Easy. Simple tactics.
Righto.
So before we do kick off, men, thought it's probably time to get the stats back on track. Having been missing for a week or two.
Oh,
and I refrained. I listened to you blokes, and I listened about 8 times because I kept falling asleep. So to all those blokes out there who one was it Tristan who mentioned couldn't find me anywhere. Oh, that was he sent in a note. Couldn't see me on social media, or flying under the radar, and you got to do that when you're at the top of the podium,
Okay.
No,
Well done.
so,
Congratulations, mate.
yes,
Awesome.
congratulations. I actually saw Gordon Maguire on the water yesterday in the 18, so it was good chat.
Yeah. No, it was a great week to be topped off. Hence why not being here last week. But almost made it back Sunday night, midnight, after raping and pillaging the ocean.
Yes, I saw that.
Not
some long line fishing.
Negative.
Couple of
not
albatross.
like Norwegian style, but we had to stop catching the tuna.
Yeah,
Too
I
many.
heard.
Bloody
I
gone
heard.
ballistic down here.
Yeah. You got to pay
So,
for your quota now.
That was fun. Good fun. Plenty of whiting, plenty of tuna, plenty of fishing. Good banter to top off a good week. So congrats to all.
Cool.
And carry on.
Well, Gordon Maguire did say a bad day in Port Lincoln is a good day in the rest of the world. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, it is the center of the universe, so fair enough.
All right, lads. Okay, so 200th episode.
200.
Traditionally on the big one numbers, we get a major guest, and we did. But we've pushed that guest to 201.
We sacked him.
We've pushed the guest to 201. We made a conscious decision. We know this. I don't know. Is it self-indulgent? I don't know but we thought it'd be of value just to run back through some of the highlights, because we know we've got a lot of listeners who've joined in and maybe wonder where things come from and some of the in jokes that are going on and which episodes are really cool. So we thought we'd just sort of, I don't know. Well, that was our idea. We'd just go back and look back over the last couple of 100 episodes. Jesus Christ, a couple of 100 episodes.
Yeah. I was looking for...
This is going to be the longest episode. It's going to be about 42 hours.
I Googled what I could get you guys for our 200th anniversary, but yeah, no one's made it that far.
All right. So, hopefully this is fun to you guys. For the listeners, this is supposed to be to a lot of fun and beneficial for you. We do, I think the first thing I want to say is that we started Bar Karate on a whim, like there's sort of a lot of things pushed us in that direction to start Bar Karate, with all the travel we were doing and listening to podcasts, and you and me, Bicey, and Coxie did a sort of discussion about the boatyard that a lot of people really liked. We put that online, and then that opportunity came up with the TV show that BP got us involved with. And, Bar Karate sort of came out of that. And I think philosophically, the reason Bar Karate exists, though, is one, so we can get together and talk to each other and have a good laugh, but two, promote sailing. Like our whole existence is to grow the sport we love. We're all sort of had really good opportunities.
I was trying to remember all the reasons we put Bar Karate together.
I couldn't think of any.
Fun. No. And this is
joking.
what we say to the guests as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because we morphed into what we are now, that more conversation piece, and with the idea that it's either got to be fun, educational, and grow the sport in one form or another. Is that right?
I always say fun, interesting, or informative. And then, but the whole underlying goal is to grow the sport. And one thing we've done to our own detriment is there's a lot of people have offered us sponsorship dollars, sailing brands. And we have said 100% of the time, you put the money back into the sport, give it to a regatta, give it to the youth, give it to whoever you think, and we'll give you free advertising. And we've tried to be fair to everyone that has approached us, whether it's a sailing brand, and said, yep, we'll do that. And so we've knocked back
millions.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Probably.
We got, in all honesty, I thought we were giving up about $5,000 a year. But we got audited by one of these podcast studios the other day, and they told us it was more into the six figures that we're giving up. So I think we've all had a bit of a
so
shock.
for all those sailing brands out there thinking
Come
you're
back.
getting a free plug, stiff shit, we're going to go for you now. No, not at all.
But we're going to.
But if you're
I
an
think we
insurance
are
company or
gonna
a car
slowly-
company, we'd be more than likely to drop our pants and do whatever you want.
Well, look, here's my theory. This is I reckon, one of the things we always
Becomes a
said-
theory, Bicey.
One of the things we said at the start, if we do make any money, we'll split it 4 ways: a third each, a quarter each, and then the last quarter we create a fund for for whatever, somebody for sailing, however we decide to use it, right?
Yep.
But the other thing I was thinking is that I really see benefit in doing live shows. I reckon we could actually, if we can start earning a bit of money, we can turn that into airfares and start doing some live shows. And I think the audience is pretty loyal. We get a lot of emails. I reckon that could be a lot of fun for people.
I reckon the addition to that, depending on where it is, say Gawler Regatta Yacht Club, for example, we can then actually interview one of the local heroes who, whether they're a volunteer, whether they're a sailor, whatever they are, to actually put our brand on top of that, and then maybe combine that with some sort of a beer tasting or, just we've got to make sure we're going down the right line here.
Combine that with the beer tasting.
No, but and turn it into a good night.
Let's get on with it. Let's get on with the show. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, so that I think I just wanted to set that. The other thing I think we need to explain is for a lot of listeners who don't understand the terminology bar karate. I think most people have got it now, but when you go into a bar after a day of sailing, you will see somebody at the bar and they'll go with their hand, I was here and, you were here and then you came in here and you did this and they use their hands to describe the close interactions, the tacking, and that's bar karate. That's when you're at the bar.
Pretty sure it happens in protest rooms too.
In the protest rooms, in the coaching sessions.
Funny you mention it. In Lincoln last week, Division 2 had about 8 protests every bloody day. And I could see Mike Holmes every afternoon performing bar karate. I thought he was over there talking about the podcast. No, he was in another bloody protest.
I bumped into Mike at the start of the week in Melbourne, and I heard that rumor that he was just protest king. So no, cool. Anyway, so that's sort of the concept. Bit of fun, having a laugh. So where should we start? How do we go through this? We just talk. First episode was Boris Herman, and topical. Boris Herman is quite right now running in the ocean race, and his boat, Team Militia. We've just watched them do all the mast repairs. Boris is an old 5.0 sailor. I think and he was doing the Omokas, and that was sort of the connection, the love for 5.0s that we all have. I'll wait. I'll just
hang on. Bicey and I are going.
Is that the collective we?
Bicey and I looked at each other with this look of, huh?
But that was good, wasn't it? Like once we started that conversation with Boris, it was fun,
I mean, one thing that it does do for us, like we could easily, if we weren't involved in bar karate, you just would have forgotten, not seen the journey. But to see Boris almost 4 years on now, like from what his aspirations were to where he is now, to almost turning around to go back to Cape Town and fix the rig, to now being convinced to fix it on the water and and that whole thing unfolding has been pretty phenomenal. But to see how he got to from where he was with an idea to where it is now is pretty great.
Yeah,
it is.
Love it. And we've also had the ability to have people who are sailing with him on our show, and it's been a part of the journey.
And we're pretty close across quite a few of these boats. Obviously, our relationship with Levanau is well known, and we've a long relationship with that team and that organisation. And we're pretty passionate supporters of them. But Team Militia, God, I was just thinking we've pretty much got every boat covered in the fleet. But anyway, Team Melitza have offered to come live off on the water, whilst the racing's going on,
I was thinking we should get Rosie as she's up the rig the other day,
We
like
could.
measuring the split in the rig, all that sort of stuff to go live. Yeah, hang on, Boris. I was just going live with Barkarati.
Live.
But I got to admit, and I forgot to mention it at the start. I've run out of cash, guys, and this is probably a little bit related to the sponsorship side. The amount of charcoal that I've been buying to make sure that the Barbie fuel is stocked for all the old mockers to be dropping into Adelaide on the way through.
Well, they can't be too far away. I'm just looking at the map. I'm going to pull the map up. Actually, they can't be too far away.
Quite a ways still.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no,
But,
wholesome-
a week.
No
Hot
more
weeks.
further than a brisket away. Put it
No.
that way.
Yeah.
a good solid brisket. Wholesome,
Solid
pressure at
8
the
kilo brisket.
wholesome's nearly here.
Yeah.
Took the flyer and found God.
Mate, I reckon I'd actually have enough time to feed Wholesome,
Send them on
put
their way.
another brisket on before the rest arrive at the moment.
We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Boris, good to watch it.
The other thing I think we need to talk about here is to bring into the conversation is our most listened to shows.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. You've got the list.
Oh, yeah. I've got the list. I'm just pulling up the stats now. So the interesting thing about it is it isn't exactly what I expected. I thought it was going to be slingers and so on, but it's not. So Will Oxley's number one by a long way. Like, we don't track stats, but we do see some sort of information on the stats.
Well, controversy breeds stats, right?
Yep.
And this was post for the ones that don't remember, but this was post Sydney to Hobart with all the hullabaloo, which went on about Celestial and basically Will and the Ichiban team clearing their name, so to speak, in that regard. But easily, no, not quite, but almost double the listens of second place.
It's bizarre, isn't it? So that's episode 144. Yeah, we worked out the controversy sells. But what
what else sells?
Yeah. In second place is Joey Newton.
Sex sells, my friend. Second best looking man in yachting.
Absolutely the second best man looking in yachting. Yes, no question.
Yes.
And it's funny on a podcast.
On a podcast. The world relies on us telling the world.
Well, Sally, his wife, listened to it 1,800 times. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I love it. A great episode. So that was episode 152. Episode 149, Adrian Finglas.
Oh,
How to Win with AIDS. That's not the title. AIDS is his nickname, everyone, if you don't know who we're talking about.
how to win with AIDS. Sorry, all you AIDS sufferers.
That was unplanned.
Most of our shows.
AIDS is a great coach. And he put a whole campaign together, threw everything out, trying to step into a class and win, and basically did it in within 12 months. And so, he's got that sort of dedication, his natural talent, and he's, he was a superstar.
That wasn't the episode that he came on and the fox ran across in the background.
No.
That was another classic moment. We should have put that up.
Yeah, no, that's his soundbite on Tinder.
The great cougar chaser, except it was a fox.
Cougar chaser.
Except it was a fox.
The good thing about AIDS is, every week you get a phone call from him, and you get to have a whole episode every week with AIDS. He loves a phone call, so that's good. In fourth place, episode 153. I'm surprised how close they are.
Mate, we literally were within a bit of a purple patch here.
Yeah.
Between what was it, episode 144?
Yeah,
and
which is
162, which we'll lead on to in a minute. But that is a solid purple patch. That's like doing a Kentucky tour in Europe.
It was it has to be one of our favourite people to have on the show. We made him a feature of the show. It was Kyle Langford.
Fantastic.
We love taking the piss out of the big seagull, and he's just such a good guy, you know. And we enjoy. We've had him on multiple times, and he's a good bloke, you know. And it's a ton of fun. And people obviously, that was the one where he's on his boat, just going for a sail.
That's right.
Cruising boat.
Going
that
for a
cool.
cruise.
Okay.
And then this one, episode 162. So the top 5 is Mark Mills for the yacht designer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now that was a fun interview.
Sitting up in his draft room.
Up in his draft room.
Got all the bits
Drawings.
of drafting paper all over the joint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drawings behind on the wall.
Which is so relevant again in a podcast. But but
designer of the
he was inspired. But that was a good discussion.
It was. We
loved it.
I think we became firm friends in that discussion. Like he was definitely keen for a few beers. He is the designer of the Cape 31 and a whole bunch of other boats. Obviously, most of you know who Mark Mills is, and designed some super cool boats. We should actually do a little bit more on that Cape 31 because I love it. I think it's cool. They're going gangbusters. But so that was the top 5 for the listeners. I'm interested.
I pulled out 2 key points there. One, of course, was the purple patch that we're in, the Kontiki tour, as I'll call it.
Yeah.
And the other one, top 3, Queenslanders.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that's a scary thought.
Wow.
Banana benders have come through with the goods.
Wow.
I retract anything I have and will say in the future.
I love that an Irishman made the list as well, you know. I think.
Well, we've had a few Irishmen on.
Yeah. The Irish people. The
Irish people, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that was surprising to me when I looked at that top 5. Because as I said, we don't really look at it too hard. But yeah, that was surprising. I'm interested though. Are they your favourites, guys?
One I miss there is the Mark Roberts episode. Amid the actual controversy. I mean, it's up there, but
it's right up there.
Didn't get I thought that would be top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And of course we've kind of a bit quieter on the Mold 11 stuff. Sure, I personally I'm guilty of taking the piss more than probably anyone. Just for those reasons. But it's kind of piped down a little bit. But good to see him back on the water.
Yep.
They're still rocket ships, but whatever.
You're going on about what is our favourite. That's what you want to ask us, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess your own favourites. Like, do you guys have any favourites?
Dicey, you want to start this one?
I've got a couple of key ones.
Right.
I mean, if we go back to the fun bits, the educational or informative.
Yep.
And then I added one there, which is interesting or adventure-wise.
Yep.
I think the fun ones, I haven't laughed so much apart from that episode with Rosalind Cooper when we were starting to talk about the Lisbot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think anyone else in the world understood that episode, but holy shit, my jaw was killing me like I've just gone to a Rodney Roode concert. And Half Roode has just come out. And his other brother, Evan fucking Roode, he came out as well.
Evan Roode.
He makes outboards, you know. But shit, laughter. My God. That would 100% have to be the funniest episode.
You?
Well, just for me personally, from laughing. Of course, there's been little tidbits, and I'm sure BP are gonna add to those a little bit. But I'll just continue on. Most call this the educational piece or the most flabbergasting. Educational piece would got to be John Bertram.
That was a good one. Yeah, love that.
The one where we delve deep into the and mindset. This for the listeners, like go back and listen to this stuff. What he did with the Australian swimming team, and now seeing the Netflix episode
Yeah.
the Netflix doco
Yep.
that he did,
Untold
and
Stories.
that how he went and lived in the US to start thinking like the Seppos, like the Americans,
Seppos.
then take on the Americans and play the mind games.
Yeah.
And that was like late 70s, early 80s. And now, and still talking that same language and even witnessing it here in the Etchells, that just only a month or two ago was pretty phenomenal. The way
at 76 years old now, he's still got the mindset that to go and do what he did.
And what blew me away, BP, at your birthday, actually,
He came to my birthday party, and how good's that?
Exactly. And just to hear him speak, and you can see how his mind works there.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Well, he definitely fed his crew well.
That's right. He needed
a big smorgasbord played out,
fellas.
and he was piling food onto his plate. But anyway, it was great.
All right.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be Lily.
Oh, you stole my thunder.
Lily Zhu,
Chinese laser sailor, like
who's now got a
we
podcast.
thought we knew her story, and listening to it, and I've got it on gallery view here, our Zoom, and that's how I normally run it. And when she was telling us the story, how she left at 8 years old or whatever it was to live 51 weeks a year away from her
family,
parents,
to sail every day,
single day, and looking at all of us, our jaws were on the floor like, what?
Yeah. Well, you stole my thunder there. That's probably one of the standouts for me too. So I'll let you keep going.
Then another interesting side is the adventurers.
The what? What did you do?
I've lost his name off the top of my head. Memory. With the crow.
Oh, Sandy McKinnon.
Sandy McKinnon.
Sandy McKinnon. What a story!
What an unbelievable story of what he went through.
I might have to listen to that one again.
Took it on, and old mate through the bloody through the Amazon.
Oh, unbelievable!
Yeah.
Just have a baby in the Amazon. Why not?
Yeah, that was a crazy episode.
Just before you'll right off the episode, and then the other ones, of course, there's highlights, and I'm sure we'll hear from them. But some of the phenomenal sailors or people that we've interviewed have just blown my mind completely.
Yeah,
pretty humbling, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the listeners, the first Rosalind Kuiper interview that Bossy is referring to is episode 109. The John Bertrand episode, these are all from memory, is 120
off the top of his head.
Off the top of my head.
Lily Zhu was episode 65, and episode 57 was Sandy McKinnon.
Yes.
Yeah. So, said off the top of the head. BP, did you want to come in, bud?
Well, I do, obviously. Robbie Nash for me.
Oh, yeah.
Lily Zhu was a mind blow. That was no question that all three of us were just at the age of 10 wandering off into an unknown area to go and do something she's never done before, and be separated from her family and the pressure that she was under. And the biggest thing about that Lily Zhu story is winning gold.
Yeah, she won the gold.
After all that, she won gold. She's an amazing person, and we love her dearly. So that was huge. For me, though, the big one, Robbie Nash. Robbie Nash was a hero of mine when I was growing up, and I'm sure all of yours. And when he accepted to come on the show and talk about cars the whole episode, I loved it.
See my truck, man.
I was happy.
If you get onto that episode, it was a cracker. He's a great guy.
Bloody glad you didn't mention the Mazda, Jordan. He would have hung up on us.
Yeah. So he was fun because he just had a down to earth chat to three idiots from Australia. That was all that was, and that was good fun. But Squarky's always a laugh. You got to love Squarky. He was on fire last weekend at the New South Wales States.
Yeah,
but
post sailing. Both on and off the water.
Well, he was a bit average on the water, but he knows that.
But the The live episode we did with Squat.
yeah, the live episode.
Pre
with
Hobart in the
three of us,
bar
the
at the
four of us.
CYC.
the four of us in the. Hang on, stop. She's a 10.
And we're not talking about the risotto.
Yeah, no, that was fun, that one too. So, look, I mean, the other one that really stood out, and I guess is on the list here, is having the privilege to sit on the balcony with Carl Rives and Sarge at Hunters Hill. I recorded that one with the two of them sitting on this antique couch looking out over Hunters Hill, the waterway there at Lane Cove River, talking about some great stories. And that was a real rush because they're legends of our sport. And hearts go out to Carl as he's struggling with some things now. But, it's good to have him.
Yeah, that's nice. So again, for the listeners, from memory, Robbie Nash, episode 45. Our first discussion with Squark, Mark Bradford, was episode 27.
27.
Yeah, and Carl and Dick was episode 4.
What?
It can't be right. It can't be
You
right.
must be missing a number.
I must be missing a number, I think. Yeah, but
Episode 4.
yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I'll do a check while we're going, but yeah,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
From memory.
From memory.
yeah.
But
No,
let's-
I have to do the check. I have to because I don't want to. I mean, listeners will probably be pretty keen. I think a few people. will
Tell you what, it's worth having a look through the what do you call
Catalogue.
it, the back catalogue,
Mm.
to just give a little reminder. I was actually chatting to Snowdy the other day, and he's like, my Spotify algorithm's got me, because he was listening to this week's episode where I wasn't on, and over to Bicey and got the crickets going. Yeah. And then next episode that comes up on the Spotify algorithm, the 100th. Crickets again. I wasn't there.
He's got him. Episode 43 for Carl and Dick.
43. I was
There you
going to
go.
say.
I'm missing a number.
From
Yeah.
From
Okay.
memory.
I want to come in because I reckon episode 137 with Hugo Ralph, our young youth sailor, to understand, I think like World Sailing have listened to that one a bit, just to understand how the youth sailors think, like never having known boats that didn't foil, just that they don't differentiate between male and female in their race course, the whole discussion. He's a super nice
mindset discussion almost without it being a mindset discussion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
No, or just reminding us how old we are.
Exactly.
that's it.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I'm getting on a podcast tonight with 3 old blokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do podcasts still. Jesus, yeah, old blokes.
There's a lot of cool ones, like Luca Rizzotti's cool, Sci-Fi's always been good. Abby, we love, like that. We could go on forever and ever. One that I loved, of course, is because he's one of my closest mates. We did Phil McGain. I think I was in Amsterdam at the time, so I really enjoyed
I was
that
in Penang, and I think Bicey was in Saudi Arabia.
one.
Yeah.
We should talk about the locations at some stage. But Phil, Phil's the McGain family, big time sailing family, and he's a multi-world champion. It was cool. But for me, the funniest one, I reckon, was Rome Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
So I missed
Yeah.
that one. So
Yeah.
Oh, well, that explains
Rome
it.
was good.
Oh,
You're
good.
right.
Rome was he had the attitude. It was hilarious. I did
Oh, we
not
forgot.
expect it.
We forgot one.
What?
We forgot one. Bloody the nightclub terrorist, Mr. Name. Come on,
The nightclub terrorist.
Nightclub terrorists.
cut this out. Hang on.
I'm not cutting anything. We're on to, well, you come back.
Yeah,
Oh,
all right.
Hoskings.
Oh, yeah.
Hosco.
Cracking open the red wine. You could hear him gargling in the background.
Definitely. So,
Hoskings was a cracker.
Hoskings
Absolutely.
was a cracker. I'm sure. I'm trying to remember.
Who's
that
your
one.
mum? Who's your mum's favourite episode, BP? She's a big
don't know.
listener of the show.
Big, huge listener. I think every episode she does. Oh, geez, that was a good episode. That one.
Guillaume Verdier was a good episode. Like
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, great episode.
but there's a lot. Like we've enjoyed doing it. I must admit, but I kind of feel like
Have you got any funny parts we can listen to?
I do. You did find something that you liked, BP. Did you? Was that the Santi Langer thing you're thinking about?
Well, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Santi Langer. Yeah.
What?
Go on.
What?
Sorry.
Set it
Well,
up, BP. Set it up.
Well, no, I just thought, well, maybe we could play some excerpts of, of what of funny parts that we thought were funny, and
So
see our reactions live as we re-listen, revisit.
Okay.
Have you got the one you want?
Oh no, Netti. Was it the Netti one?
Yeah, Netti. Yeah, Netti.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Santi Langer sounds like a tennis player.
Because he does. Yeah, but he
Santi
does.
Lang.
He does say Santi Langer in it. And that's why I thought you were referring to it. But
Yeah.
I basically tried to find and to this day is still one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And when Netti was describing the wipeout and
yes,
and I gave you the numbers, and if you've got an excerpt of it, I think it would be really fun to see our reactions.
episode 151.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can play it. Magic finger disappearing. Magic finger.
Hey,
Here we
Jack,
go.
time to go to bed.
Here we go.
Hey, Nettie,
sorry.
just one thing I've picked up on here. You said your bow after Cape Town. Conveniently, prior to Cape Town, the bowsprit fell off.
I was just about
That
to
was-
say, can you tell us the story about going backwards with the A3?
You weren't close to it at that point in time.
No
Yeah,
one's
yeah, I
close
was.
to it.
I was on deck when everything happened. So it was, I remember Santi Lange,
Yeah.
Pachi, myself, and I don't know, it was
Chicho was there.
Chicho, and Chicho was there. True.
In his
No,
undies
Chicho came on deck. They gave him the price of the seamanship because he came on deck with sea boots, underpants, and a harness. So basically,
as the bowsprit flies past him, with an A3 connected to it going back.
yeah. So basically, we were selling, ripping. Big. It was quite a big low, big depression. Fucking sending it, and the boat was we can say now it was a piece of shit. The rudders were too small. The keel was in the wrong place.
Nettie, don't ruin me. I was going to get to that. We've got leg 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 to go yet.
Fuck. Because the whole fuck up with the program is that we did our training base in Alicante. It's for a year in Alicante.
The Mediterranean bubble.
Sailing there. Let's try the rudders. Let's make it smaller. And we ended up with a tiny little sheet of rudder. And when we went to Atlantic, we realized the boat was no way to drive it. So we start to fucking broach 20 times a day or something like that. I never broached that many times in my life. It was part of in this watch, only 4 times, only 5 times. Fuck. So we were sailing, ripping, we broached as always, and then the rudder disappeared, broke, and the next thing that happened was the boat capsized with no rudder. The bobsleigh breaks, and all the bowsprit start to fly to leeward of the boat, ripping out from deck the tack line, the downfucker, with all the fittings,
Yeah.
and the everything flies to leeward, and it stops in the daggerboard, which luckily was up. Otherwise, it will just stop in the swamps and we will break the mast. So we ended up with the boat capsized, everything flying to leeward, and we need to throw everything into the water. We get the sail off the lock, cut the halyard, cut the sheets, and everything out.
I do remember the day because I was actually the rigger on the boat and I had to make all the ropes again, every rope on the boat, I might add. But one of the funniest parts was coming back and seeing both tack lines had peeled through the front of the boat, had gone perfect train tracks down through the bow and stopped at bulkhead A, and then locked off on bulkhead A. Then someone had obviously, it had gone all the way to the knot in through the clutches, and then it was the cut, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that bobstay you made, mate.
Oh, that was not me. I can tell you that. That was a carbon thing, mate.
Yeah, que was a carbon link.
That was not me.
All right,
Yeah.
shall we move on to the dagger boards?
That was the next leg. Yeah, it's true.
We made about
It's funny.
18 or 26 of those, didn't we?
No, well, in the next leg to India, we broke the daggerboards, both teams, the same day. The same day, fuck, I remember that too. But yeah,
Hey, it was fun. Come on.
shit.
Anyways,
We broke a lot of shit in Telefonica Black.
there it is.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh, shit. It's even funnier the second time.
That's why I thought we had to play it. I mean, it's just,
Oh.
it is crack.
Hilarious.
It is funny. It is very, very funny.
The blood is fucked.
Oh, I'm going to have to put the explicit tick on for this episode.
Yeah, no, this one's not for kids. Let me tell you.
We do all have one favourite moment, though, don't we? I think.
We do.
I think, and the whole beer story. The whole beer story. Should we
Oh.
tell the beer story?
Yeah.
We thought we were so clever.
We always
we
think
got
we're
asked-
clever.
We are clever. I think it still will pay out. We got asked by you and I driving across Malaysia, Bicey. Remember? We were driving across Malaysia, which is not something you do every day. And we got a message saying a brewery group wants to sponsor us for the show. And we thought, well, we're sitting there driving for hours. We just start talking. And the problem is we're sober, I think. We don't make our best decisions when we're sober. We do our best work when we're not. And why'd you shake your head then, darling? My wife just shook her head. Anyway, so we said, we went back to them and said, instead of giving us money, why don't we brew a beer? Barker Arctic Sailor's Lager. And we went through that whole process. And the idea behind that was that, it's a proof of concept thing. We'll do a few runs. And then, we do a deal with the brewery group. I think
And make millions.
Yeah, make millions. And COVID sort of killed that a little bit. Like we were going great. We proved that yacht clubs will buy Sailor's Lager, that all the yacht clubs came at us hard. It was exactly what we hoped. But I think the brewery group we were working with, they had a lot of venues, and so they weren't able to open those during that sort of COVID period. So I think that
Lost momentum.
we lost momentum. I don't think it's completely gone away. Barkarati might still surface.
We've definitely got the brand sitting there in the background, ready to go. It's just a matter of the stars aligning.
Yep.
And getting them all correct. But just
because that's how we
almost
roll.
Went to 1,000 cartons, gents.
No, no.
Yeah.
Not a small
exercise.
That's a few pallets.
And they were bloody good. I know a lot of people overseas hate us talking about this because they couldn't get to taste it, but it was bloody good beer. And my mum loved it. She kept saying, when are you going to bring out more Barkarati beer? And I'm going, what? And so Sailor's Lager went well. Anyway, as part of that process, we did a bit of beer tasting early on, right? And in the beer tasting, Bicey did an amazing job where we put a whole bunch of beers. That was a bit of fun. This was before.
I was actually staying, for the listener, I was staying up in Noosa, just north of where Jordan lives on the Sunshine Coast. And I came down just for the evening. And with the whole idea we were going to, we actually did do Barkarati. I think James, did we interview James Hodgson? Maybe. Anyway, and then we did the beer tasting, of course. And I'm up there on a good family holiday until some bastard sets me up.
Please play. You've got it to play.
I've got it. I've got it.
Put it on because I need it. I need it before it goes any further. Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it on.
Yeah,
it's a slight delay and then she's on. BP, we haven't told you about this because I want to see your reaction. We've had some feedback.
How many times is this going to happen?
This is a good one. We've had some feedback on remember the beer tasting test where Bicey did really well tasting the beers, right?
Yeah.
So there was some feedback that came where some people suggested that because we decanted everything into glasses, right? That some people suggested that affected the flavour, and it might have been a better result if we just left it in the bottle. We left the beer in the bottle. So we've actually gone out and I've recreated this whole thing, and we've left the beer in the bottle. So you'll be able to, Bicey's just going to drink it straight out of the bottle, right? And see if we can do a better result. So
are we going to do this now?
We're going to do it now. We're going to do it now.
All right.
what I wanted to do is I just need to set it up. So I've just
I was
done
just about to say, where is the lovely hostess? And she just walked in behind you.
well, so what I'm going to do is I just got to quickly organise something. So what I've done is I've pre-recorded the rules and the instructions. So Bicey can't hear anymore. Okay. All right. So Bicey is not able to hear what's going on.
This is correct,
And
listeners.
we're going to test this. Okay. So I'm going to quickly just play a bit of audio that I've recorded, and then it'll all make sense. So BP, just have a listen. Okay, BP listeners, what's going on at the moment is we're doing the setup for the taste testing, but what we're not actually doing is a taste testing. The whole thing is a setup to confuse Bicey. What's happened is we were out the other day and we heard this story about how you can actually buy beer that's preloaded or carbonated with helium. So I rushed home to check that out because that made us laugh, and checked it out, found out it's not true. But I had a bit of a thought by myself, and what I've been doing is experimenting, and I've preloaded helium into the actual beer bottle itself. So I've actually loaded it up with a tube into the beer bottle as much as I can. So the secret is going to be to open it just as he's about to taste it, and hopefully he gets a whole gob full of helium. So this whole thing is a setup to try and catch Bicey out and see if we can get him to drink basically a mouthful of helium and get a bit of a chuckle. So that's what's going on. So let's see how it plays out. Did you get that, BP? So Bicey can't hear it.
I'm all over it.
So, Bicey, are you ready to take the beer on?
I wonder why we're doing it twice, because I just pretty much nailed it last time. But
You did
yeah,
great.
I'm more than prepared. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to get Bicey to open the bottle of beer. So immediate. There we go.
Well, it tastes like what the? What's going on? It's definitely what? Is my head, mate? What is, set me up. Set me up again. Every time.
Oh. Well, hello, sailor. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling you've set me up. The old
Mate, Jordan is rolling on the ground at this point in time during this.
How does the beer taste, mate?
Well, to tell the truth, I've gone and forgotten. Oh, it's definitely
Gold.
a summer ale.
Go.
Worth every
gold.
cent. Worth every cent. What do you think, BP? Did that work?
Well done. Oh, gold material. Can't pay for that shit.
Oh.
And it's actually quite funny. Post that is I think BP, you and I got the same message from Craig Williams. He was heading to work on the train, and he just had a drink or something, and that bit came up and he spat it out all over the train.
Person in front of him. Oh, very good. Oh, it has been a crack up. That's no question. Righto. What's next?
Yeah, geez, it's like our eulogy here, isn't it?
Oh my
Just
God.
going through all the shit.
I think one of the other things I think that's been a bit of gold is that people really have come and responded to is those Hobart coverage, the updates that morning.
How much fun have they been?
Yeah, they've worked really well. And I mean, I don't think we'd ever have to pay for a drink every time we go into the army bar.
Well, definitely not for a gun run of 16.5.
That's exactly right.
In the Rancer. Unfortunately, it's not licensed.
Yeah,
we've got to take our own rum.
Yeah, go take your own.
and squash
And squash.
and lemon.
And
and
ice. And ice. And
so
Carlos
those
of
Hobart,
ice.
I think they've been great. And BP, you were on fire, particularly the first edition, just picking everything.
Except for that port starboard.
Yeah.
That was the race before.
Anyway, but for us, I think that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
good highlight. Yeah.
One highlight. One thing that's been really sad we did an interview, and we really enjoyed this interview. And I think it's political, and I got on my high horse a bit. Was episode 129 with Irina Gracheva. Gracheva. She's a Russian sailor, and she was having a red hot go, which was what we were really keen
red
to.
hot go, fourth in the mini transit. That's not more. That's more than a red hot go.
Exactly.
That is cracker jack.
Red hot go.
Yeah, and certainly through no fault of her own, the Russian regime invade Ukraine and the world starts putting sanctions on, and there was fallout, which, all the Russian sailors' boats, basically, she had to sell her boat, and I think she's basically got nothing now. So,
but let's just add to that. She's not a Russian oggly Google. She's a battler who loved sailing and dedicated her life to sailing, and has had this whole thing affect her career, her passion. And I think you're right there. I mean, we love her. We just want to support her. Irina, yoo-hoo.
But that's when I got on my high horse and said, "Well, you got it. You pick your
get
your
into the streets,
get into the streets, protest
and protest.
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Yeah." I don't do much protesting. I've got a big head. It's easy I'm an easy target for the police.
Easy. Joke about that. But
Not like the guy with one leg shorter than the other. Sniper's nightmare.
So I guess maybe we should talk about some of those things where they came from. So the big head thing is,
But you've got a big head.
I've always introduced myself as I'm 6'3", 190 centimeters, getting shorter as the days go by. But I've always said I'm a 5'10" bloke with a 7'2" guy's head. I've just got
that's
this.
why he's 6'3".
Yeah, big noggin.
Yeah.
And so the big head joke took off. But of course, Bicey just did it to himself because he bought a stupid Land Rover, and he's been broken down in every part of Australia, like leaving oil all over the country. So
it's like just the crumbling cookie. So you can find where I've been.
Yeah, that's
Follow
it.
the oil slick.
Yeah. The other one that I loved is the test rig, where we were having this discussion where we just came up with that nickname. We're trying to, like when you go into any manufacturer, they normally have a test rig to, when
Bust
falls,
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So these falls you can see behind me, they go into the test rig. They're a one design element on whichever boat they were talking about, but they'll and they bust them on the test rig just to see how they're going. So, that whole notion of breaking something and who on the boat breaks something, and just that nickname of test rig.
And we got many a submission as to who is the test rig on their particular boat.
Which I think we should go back down that path and actually have it as a character.
None more so from a professional sense. I think Rob Greenhouse
up
there pretty high.
Greenhouse right up there.
And but of course, the ultimate,
Kyle Langford.
Exactly. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Why let that get?
Why have a good story?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was good. And then obviously the reverse curse. We just
nailed it. Just nailed
because every commentator has a curse, and people, you mention something good about someone, and it goes.
I still reckon that's going to be the next lot of t-shirts.
The reverse curse.
Yeah. I
apologize. Did you guys mention it last week that note that we got? Yeah. About the guy wrote in from the US. Do you mind giving us a shout out and give us a bit of a reverse curse?
Yeah.
I fell asleep for the 8th time before I got to that section.
No, he but yeah, so that reverse curse, and it's been strong, it's
mate, we've interviewed probably 170 people.
On. Yeah.
So there's still a shitload of sailors left. Don't worry about that. So the reverse curse is we can maybe do one of those celebrity, how you can pay $20 and get a celebrity to sing a song for you.
I've got an idea.
Remember doing that?
I've got an idea.
And people could send in. We can give them a bit of a boost to set the reverse curse. Not to mention,
could we
the happy birthday shout out we did give into the US.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about birthdays. Do you know who else's birthday is today?
No.
The Bubs.
Oh,
Bubsy.
Happy birthday, Bubs. You'll be listening. Cool. Hey, maybe we could do a reverse curse game show.
Go on.
Well, I don't know the rules.
Oh,
BP at his finest. That's a
I like
perfect BP moment.
I like it.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Well, you guys work out the issue.
Maybe going back also, and we mentioned a bit before, but we have recorded from some pretty far out
Yes.
places around
Yes.
the world.
Do you remember?
Okay. Well,
Well, definitely I've done a whole bunch through Europe,
Yep.
without a doubt, like anything from Amsterdam, Paris, London, whatever. Probably the most obscure was Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia,
That we
absolutely.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit with Mexico was a big one. Staying in this beautiful resort, and it's about 1 million degrees outside, humid as a bastard. And it was super early AM for me, maybe 4:30. I'm gonna say it was Vesta Sail Rocket.
Oh yeah. Oh mate.
Very early in the piece. And I've got up to get a glass of water or something, and I had my nice, Bar Karate t-shirt on
And undies.
and a pair of underwear. And he's like, "Bossy, what are you eating, you jocks?"
The problem was it was that the leopard leotard with the all the stockings and that was what put us off.
And then, of course, Jordan, Malaysia together.
Yes.
Yeah.
We recorded at that resort that was built about 30 years ago that looks like it's 80 years old.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then, of course, getting told off in the middle of the night in Amsterdam.
Was that Amsterdam we got told off?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember where it was.
Yeah.
We're about 3 a.m, and people we got in a lot of trouble in our hotel room. The 2 blokes making too much noise in a hotel
We've
room
had
in Amsterdam.
Indonesia. We've had Hamble. We've had Malaysia. We've had Penang.
Penang, yeah.
All over the world.
We've had Port Lincoln.
Yeah, well,
We
I
don't remember that
one. We don't record in Port Lincoln anymore.
No,
There's a ban.
We have officially skipped Port Lincoln from now on. Yeah.
Center of the universe does no podcast recordings.
Yeah, well, the bandwidth's a problem.
Yeah,
The other
correct.
thing I think we should bring up and give a little bit of insight to for the listeners is that when the guest comes on, we actually tell the guest that say whatever you want. And if you say something you don't want us to publish, we'll take it out. We're not in the gotcha game. And so we actually do that. And
To relax them.
yeah, to relax and to have a better conversation. And in all honesty, we don't want to ruin people's careers. We want to make careers better for people. And so, but what happens, we noticed.
Oh, no. Before you say that, though,
Yeah.
what's your next line after you say to them,
I can't.
look, if there's anything you want to take out, we can do it. We've never had to do it except for one Australian sailing coach.
Yeah, that's it. We've only ever had to do it for Australian sailing coaches. It's the only people we've pulled it out of. But
It's exactly true and what happens is you say that to them, and then when we start, you can tell that they're a little bit nervous. But after about 5 minutes, they're just babbling on about crap.
Yeah, and they do. But even with that said, when we turn the record button off, some of the stuff we get told, we should. I mean, we won't. We never would. But we don't. But God, some of the conversations we've had have been insane.
No, we should keep recording. Basically, we should put out the little
the black book, the little Bar Karate black book.
No. Well, maybe that's something we could do. We could actually just add those bits as a bit of what do they call it in podcasts where you
Bites.
pay for an extra bit?
We don't know how to make money.
I don't even know the name of it. So
one of those
how are
bits.
we supposed to make that happen? The
other thing-
Patreon. The Patreon.
Patreon thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is there was one episode where we were talking to an absolute legend on the older end of the scale, and his wife just decided to kept walking backwards and forward through shot in her underwear. Do you remember that?
Here. I've got a recording. No.
That was a strange one, that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we do have some funny things that go on.
Was that an Irishman?
I'm not saying any hints, BP. Let's not get anyone in trouble, all right? But I just want I want to get that out there that we do see some funny stuff, and it is very enjoyable. The only other thing, I guess, is remember we used to do what boat are you buying? Have you guys
Moved on.
moved on? Any different
I
changes?
think the last time we spoke about it, I was getting an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh,
right.
that's
Yes, you
right.
were.
Where was I?
Nuclear powered
In
aircraft
Florida.
carrier.
Yeah.
Nuclear powered aircraft carrier.
You're
Oh,
on some sort of a trimaran or catamaran, I think.
Catamaran.
Jordan.
Talk about Navy. It was funny last week when Jody Seals says it's like watching submarine racing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Jordan Spencer is the best submarine racing commentator around. So
Yeah,
dear.
well, you know.
I think the last one is the whole joke about the photos going everywhere, and we've even had people have offered, we have to,
Oh, yeah.
the joke about my photo being above the dunny, the urinals at Adelaide Sailing Club.
is that a joke?
This is why it's so funny working with you, Jordan. You think it is a joke. It's actually real.
But I think the most important thing is we've had a lot of messages and emails about people that have followed our advice and have got pro gigs.
Well, which is
I wouldn't say
pathways.
followed our advice, but they've listened to our listeners
Yes.
and they have chosen a particular path based on this specific podcast. Mainly out of the US, we hear this, and we hear
I heard it a
people
lot in the UK. I heard
that
a lot in
have,
the UK.
that have really taken that leap of faith, essentially.
Leap of
It's
faith, and
pretty
also having that understanding of, you pick up a broom, just pick up a broom,
Yeah.
just pick up a goddamn broom and sweep the bloody floor.
Don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, don't
and
be a
you'll
dickhead.
go places. Yeah.
It's been good. It's
Yeah.
been good.
Yeah.
I got two questions without notice before we wind up. Do you have a favourite club event that we've mentioned over those? No, can't remember a single one of them.
No,
Come on, mate. The
I
Teakle
think
Classic for
Oh,
crying out loud.
no, that one.
Favorite club event. Listen, I'm gonna put one out there.
I've
and
got
I'm
two.
gonna say I had a ball in South Australia, Bicey, as the Commodore of the club that we were hosted by.
Oh, the
Was a
actuals.
fantastic event.
Yep.
For me,
I want to say that
Thank you.
me, and obviously coming back into the class
Post
with,
mold 11 debacle.
post mold 11 debacle,
Mm.
and getting out there and just having a sail on my home waters against my mates.
Yeah.
And give everyone an opportunity to see how far we've all come in sailing. I think that was a really cool thing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I want to.
Jordan?
I reckon is it called the Archipelago Raid?
Yeah.
In Sweden.
Yeah.
And then the ice boating. I think the ice boating.
Ice boating.
Massive
We're
into this
doing
DNT.
ice boating. We're doing ice
We're
boating.
doing it. We're doing it.
We're going to get over there. We're going to do the
I think- I
Barcarati
think-
ice boating team.
They're my favourite events. But that raid event, I don't know. I just got visions of smashing a boat onto the rocks, and just.
Oh, great. Sounds
Oh,
fun.
mate, we wouldn't make it past the first night.
No, I know that's the problem.
That's the issue.
Where's BP and Bicey? They haven't. They're passed out somewhere.
Well, it stays daylight the whole time. So
yeah, true.
yeah.
We won't know.
A favourite listener of the week? Do you want to? Is there anybody that you think?
Mate, I can't remember this one. There's so many.
Mate,
I've got one.
There's 200.
Yeah, no, we've got one.
there's been a bunch of people that write in
Funny.
on a weekly
There's-
basis.
there's
right?
regulars,
And
yeah.
we're reading average one a day, one or two a day, right?
They probably deserve a mention.
which has significant substance. We
Schaefer.
have several that write in at least many times per year. None more so than probably the John Schaefer, who has joined the show. Do you remember the episode? Off the top of your head?
It's been on
Yeah.
the show, yeah.
With the
Rescue swimmer. We
rescue
gave him
swimmer,
Yep.
which went extremely successfully.
Yep.
In that sort of stuff. But yeah, Jordan, go on.
From the perspective of, it's not necessarily the funniest. I can't remember what the person wrote in about, but this person,
Does this guy get the absolute ultimate prize?
Yeah, no,
What a
it's
merchandise
a she.
fact.
It's a she. And when the minute I say it, she will be in tears. I guarantee it. So she's a
Oh,
Canadian.
Yeah.
She's the passion she's found for the sport, listening to the show. She's got into the sport. She's just, she's your normal club racer on a boat, and she's rolling the dice. She's sailing with all women crews. She's sailing with mixed crews. She's just having a go. And I think she's got a big soft spot for Bicey is my other thing, but it's got to be Denise de
Human
Monde.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Denise of the world.
Yeah.
She's definitely she's a
Mm.
fantastic listener. Written in several times.
Absolutely.
So
And
yeah.
I guarantee there's tears rolling down her face right now because it'd mean a lot to her, I think. So yeah.
Yeah. Well
Cool.
done, Denise.
I think we
merchandise
should
pack.
just
Actually,
take it.
Denise was the first person who found the discount code.
Oh, the
for her
discount
clothing.
Take that back. She's taking money out of our pockets.
Oh, let's go one step further and thank you all listeners. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But we love people writing in, texting, messenger, blah, blah,
Well,
blah,
our
whatever.
our IT department do.
Emailing, whatever it might be.
No, just email. Just make it simple. I'm sick of
Is-
trying to find all the notes.
Probably Instagram Messenger. That's you, Jordan.
Yeah. Just send everything to
big-
cheers at Barkarati.
Cheers
Huge,
at
a
barkarati.com.
huge note. We're at 56 now on our TikTok.
TikTok's a Russian spy
through the roof.
propaganda thing. I don't know.
Chinese.
Right, trust Chinese. That's it.
Is that
All
what
right.
is that what it was? Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Moving on. Shall we go on?
Little step down memory lane. Done
Yeah,
and
we-
dusted.
Yeah, done.
Well
and
done.
dusted.
Yeah,
Well
let's move on.
Well done, us. High five.
Yeah, nice. Good on you.
Got myself in the eye.
All right. Seppo bullshit. The West Indians introduced into the game.
Right, back to
The
regular
real deal.
broadcasting. Other
Did your
news-
voice just lower an octave?
Fine.
Back to the regular foot broadcast.
And did it have an American accent?
What you saying, Governor?
Club
All right.
events, yes.
Club
Go for
events.
it. I've
Club
been out
events.
there all day watching. Go on.
The JJs, the JJ Giltnams, the 18-foot skiffs,
Mm.
2 races into their series. I think it's about 9 races now. It's the JJs is the 18 skiffs world championship. It's not an international class. It's not recognised as a world championship. It's
Bit like baseball in the States.
yes,
Well, a bit
Yes.
like the Rainbow national titles
Yeah, which are the worlds.
back in 1972.
Yeah, they were the worlds. Yeah.
Anyway, the good thing about the 18s is they do some TV coverage with it. So you can just tune in, just look onto YouTube, 18s skiff on YouTube, and it's good watching.
What's the current
Fantastic.
status, gents?
I've only watched race 1.
Finport, Keegan York has had a great race.
Yep.
And I think there's a big thing going on with Woody. Woody is sailing a blinder.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd wants that.
He'd be a crowd favourite.
Beat the young son twice already.
So remind us again of the format. Jordan. It's a nine race series, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
With a harbour race each day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with a couple of lay days thrown in,
Yep.
and it finishes when end of this week.
Yep.
As people are listening to it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So
I think
this
there's
is
a lay day tomorrow. It's going to be 37 degrees here in Sydney
Yeah,
tomorrow.
is
heat
it?
No
wave
wind.
incoming. That'd be
Yeah,
quite
no
pleasant
wind.
in Sydney.
Good day to have a lay day when it's that hot, no wind.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. The other one I want to mention is the Australian Secondary Schools Teams Racing Championships. Nick Bice, you'd be a big fan of that. Is on
Absolutely.
in Goolwa.
Goa.
In South Australia, 5th to 9th July. I just thought I'd mention that because we love the youth of Australia, of the world. We love the youth of the world, but the teams racing, that's where you got your start, Bice.
Well, I got my start in the, of course, the whole
The
fast
Rainbow.
trailer, moving on to the Rainbow, and then into the secondary schools teams racing, and of which competed in the Inter-Dominions, won the national, and some of those guys now, well, at national level, then Inter-Dominion level, are still some of my best mates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these kids who are going through it now, they're competitors on the water now. But
Friends off
as
the
you
water.
take your next steps through,
Mhm.
they're going to be your best mates, and you're going to be working and sailing alongside them for the rest of your life. So
Mm.
it's a pretty cool thing, and I reckon these guys, they have to be sailing them way better than we did. Like the amount of time people spend on the water now is just phenomenal. So
Mhm.
it'll be bloody good thing to watch. And yeah, let's face it, the winner is going to be well deserved for that matter.
Indeed. Very cool. Good luck to everyone. Have a good time. And all the coaches will be tearing their hair out. But yeah, Goa. Interesting. Fresh water. Be fun. Send your light crews down. Cool. Jack Lloyd, listener of the week. So we should probably explain just while we're, for those who don't know, Jack Lloyd was
Legend.
a legend. Particularly close to you, Bitey, but I've spent quite a few years with the man. And it was a good friend
former
of ours.
race director of the Volvo Ocean Race, of course.
Correct.
I of course, Phil Lawrence, race director now, but after what I saw, and we'll speak about the Ocean Race shortly.
We absolutely
what I saw
will.
on Table Bay the other day. I'm wondering how Jack would have been dealing with that.
He wouldn't be happy.
Hell
happy.
no.
We went into business together. We did World Yacht Rally with Jack, and he's so he passed away unexpectedly. It sort of caught us all by surprise, and so we just decided, he was a passionate listener. He used to ring us from all sorts of places, whereas listening to the Barkarati. And so that's why we call it the Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week, just so you know. We've had some good ones this week. First one is just a good, honest one. Do you want me to read it, or you guys do it?
No, you read it.
Okay, Jay Leon came in with a good one. Love the work. Listen from Seattle every week. And during that gap before your last show, I was getting a bit worried he'd been sucked up into the Sydney storm like Dorothy and Toto.
Well educated.
Yeah. I have a quick question that you guys are likely to be the only people equipped to know. Does anyone outside of SailGP have access to the SailGP tracker data? Closest thing I can find is the umpire feed on the SailGP Insights, but it seems to be controlled by the umpires, and I cannot figure out how to make it work like a tracker as in during the Olympics. It'd be pretty cool to do a tracker-driven post-mortem on the racing and analyse the decisions made by each boat. It's in just about every race. There seems to be quite a bit of time where I wish I was seeing what was happening off the camera. Also, are you going to be in San Fran? Who'd think about attending and would like to see the spectacle firsthand? You guys are awesome. Keep it up. Thanks, Jay. No, you can't really see the data. Do you want to know something I haven't told you, blokes?
No, what's that?
Do you know how many lines of data they get off the boats each day?
Thousands and thousands and thousands. Millions.
Geez, I thought you were going to ask something else there. Do you know how many lines
I do a day?
Each boat produces 1 billion lines of data a day.
Lines.
Billion.
Yeah.
Lines. Billion lines a day.
Yeah, whatever that means. But so I don't know. So
Basically,
the
it's a lot
data
of lines.
That's a
You
lot
could
of
have
lines.
said
goes up into the
5,000. That's a
Oracle
lot of
cloud.
lines. Yeah.
In a day, though, 1 billion.
Yeah.
One
So
day.
they have a couple of different teams that are going through
No
that
wonder
data.
they're so fast.
One is tracking the data while the racing's on to see if there's any issues on the boat. And then there's analysts that are running, each team has their own dashboards and it all goes up into the cloud.
It's the amount of sensors. The amount of sensors that it's on.
Yeah, they got hundreds of sensors on these boats. Anyway, I don't think they're going to give access to the cloud to the regular punter. What they should do is probably publish some of the data in a separate form, but
I think it's more talking about the race data, the actual analytical race data, the actual, like how you could actually get hold of it after the race is gone.
What I'm saying is there's so much data going up
they
into
don't
the
know.
cloud.
They don't know which to do.
And it's sort of locked down. You can't necessarily get, but maybe they should do a public report.
Does Larry Ellison have his own cloud that follows the SailGP around?
It's kind of like monkey magic. He goes like this.
The retro reference. Well done, PP. That was from
Pixar.
Pixar.
Oh, the poor listeners just going, what are they talking about? But Jay, I'll have an ask, mate. I'll have an ask for you, bud. I'll go in and see what I can find out. I am prone to forgetting because I got so much on my plate, but I will have an ask for you because I reckon that'd be pretty good. Why are you laughing?
Because it's just funny. Because
all I can see is a big plate on your head with all these little things on
and
ears.
It's not your normal size plate. It's not your normal size plate. It's one of those big F-off plates. You know the ones?
Yeah, while these two
Okay.
idiots are talking.
So are you
mate.
going to San Fran with your big plate or?
We got checked. We got audited by Bill Goggins, CEO of
The
Harkin.
Gogs? Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Gogs.
So how much is the swear jar up to? Account up to? Is Peter's
Shitloads.
College?
There's another $1, young fella.
Do we include or not include Netti?
Here's another Pedro. Another one, Pedro.
Because if we've got to include Netti,
Netty.
yeah, because Netti thinks it's not a normal English word. He doesn't
Yeah.
think it's a swear word.
Yeah, but none of us pay up. I told Bill that. I said, yeah,
What's going on with that microphone, mate? Well, that microphone's cutting in and out on you. You like it's coming in, onto your face there. Look out.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
it's
you were
just
talking technology.
technology.
Yeah, technology. Anyway, yeah. So no one's putting money into the jar is the answer.
No one's putting any money in the jar.
Yeah.
So Pete's look. Yeah, I would suggest Bill sign Pete up for an apprenticeship. It's time he did a trade.
Yeah. College. Yeah. Maybe she's off the list.
The other one we got was from Brett Linton. From he's a K1W one.
K1W1.
He's from New Zealand. Just listened to episode 199, and there was talk about the French smoking and Bruno telling people to stop throwing their ciggies on the
That
ground.
was funny. I
Bruno.
saw that today. Yeah.
Below is a photo of Pascal Bigadori's ashtray from the final leg of the 2017-18 Volvo Ocean Race. I suspect there may have been other few French folk involved as well. And it's basically, oh God, it's disgusting. How do you do it?
It's not a single-use plastic bottle, is it?
No, multi-use.
No, it got used multiple times, about 200 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and it's probably worth doing. Yep.
Yeah.
Beauty. All right. So anyway, yeah, so that's been a bit of fun. So that's good. But now the important thing.
It's hot time with Bice.
Rightio, gents. I've got a I know it's been around a little bit, but I've got a bit of a who am I for you guys this
Yeah,
week.
Nick Bice.
Bicey.
Check this. Born 4th of March, 1920. Who am I? 1927.
4th of March, 1927.
Oh,
OBE 1971 for multiple sporting achievements.
Oh God!
Inducted into the New South Wales Sports Hall of Fame 2002. 2017 received an AM in the Queen's Birthday Honours list for significant service to sailing as a yachtsman and international competitor, as a mentor to young sailors.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
we
I
got
know.
Sid.
Well, yeah. Just keep listening. I'm
Okay.
4 points into 14. Well done, you, Tony Barber.
Yeah.
Named. So I'll get to why I'm mentioning this. Named Australian Yachtsman of the Year 71, 72, 92, 93, Ocean Race of the Year 93, 96, 2002, 2008, Veteran Ocean Race of the Year 2007, 2012, Award for Services to Yachting in 03, Lifetime Achievement Award at Australian Yachting Awards 2013, and the President's Award at the 2014 Australian Yachting Awards from Matt Allen.
There you go.
2017 inducted into the America's Cup Hall of Fame.
Wow.
2018 inducted to the Australian Sailing Hall of Fame, and a month later into the inaugural CYCA Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Represented and captained Australia internationally more times than any other person with the Admiral's Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Represented a record 8 times, captained Australia a record 7 times, and won or placed in 4. Won the 71 World One Ton Cup in Auckland. AC campaigns 83, 87, 92, 95, 99. So obviously everyone knows we're talking about Sid.
Hang on,
here.
before you go any further, I've got to add a couple to that. Represented Mandaringa Rugby League 1956, 1957.
Oh,
Here.
Also represented and or competed in the America's Cup and equaled Sir Thomas Limpton's record of seven attempts.
Absolutely.
There you go.
yeah.
So significant. And of course, kind of nurturing the careers of young people, including Ian Murray,
And
Jimmy
yourself.
Spithill, and
yourself.
my
Yours
good
truly.
self.
Yes.
My good self. Lucky enough to sail with Sid's campaign in Young Australia 2000, of which, with a whole bunch of mates, Sid 47 Sydney Hobarts. Only 3 other yachtsmen have contested more, including longtime crew Tony Ellis, who holds the current record of 54. And they did 41 together. You reckon they know what to drink at Customs House?
What time quiet little drink starts up at
They don't have to do an order.
of the shipwrights?
So I know it's been mentioned, but Sid left us only a week or two ago, and a massive hole in the Australian sailing fraternity, world sailing for that matter of fact, and America's Cup. But one who is reared and revered as
Revered.
anyone you could imagine, like hard as nails. And I remember some significant talkings too, and some significant lessons. One of his greatest speeches was, trust is good, checking is better. And basically what that means is ask the question.
Yeah.
And don't get offended if someone asks the complete obvious. But trust is good, checking is better. It's way better. So, but having been, let's say, not through the Sid Fisher school as such, but having done the Young Australia campaign with a bunch of young fellas led by Sid, Ian Courtlang, and a whole bunch of other guys, including our great coach, Rob Brown. It was a experience that one could never, ever forget. So indebted for life to a guy like Sid Fisher and for what he's done. Yeah. So Barley Sid Fisher. So that's the Who Am I piece. Moving on to who
Are we allowed to
be?
Are we allowed to guess who it was now?
Oh yeah, go.
Sid Fisher.
Moving on to the who should I be? And that's if you're an Omoka, you should probably be a Volvo 65 right now, is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No,
Amazing.
not
So
amazing.
Just general discussion here, boys.
Right.
Coming back from I watched the start live last week. Coming back from the fishing trip, we managed to get TV coverage just that last little stint and got to watch on YouTube the start of in Cape Town. Oh, mate, literally jaws on the floor, everyone. The fact they're doing 2 or 3 or however many laps it was in up to 40 to 45 knots prior to a 12,000-mile leg, absolutely
blew your mind.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's the word.
Ridiculous.
That's Cape Town, though. We've done it before. We've been there. We've seen it.
Yeah,
well,
it's like
we've been there. We've
like
seen it,
committed.
but we've never done 3 laps in 45 knots prior to a 12,000-mile leg in boats that are relatively unknown in the Southern Ocean, fully crewed.
What did we do? We did, was it a couple out back? Was it the 2014-15, I think? Remember, I think the women's team broke all their battens in the main.
Yeah.
Wait, 9 was heavy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we were in different sort of boats and, it's wow. Yeah.
I mean, but literally right here, it's a parade of sail, essentially, right? And don't get me wrong, if you're sitting on the breakwater, you were having you're seeing the best thing you could see ever.
If you're the shore crew, you're going, when are they coming back
and
in?
We saw it. Biotherm just disintegrated the cascade system on the main sheet. Saw 11th hour, just batten ends, snap all the batten ends. It was pretty cool watching, but these boats are out of control, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously they could not control them. And I wouldn't be surprised next start if there's anything like that. It's just 3 reefs, Solent, nothing. Like even then. And I read Abby's blog talking about what did she say? Formula One car racing on the ice or something before going into a, the normal race or something like that.
Yeah.
I can see
I
it
also
both sides.
read-
I can see the TV side of things.
Commitments. There was commitments.
But at the same time, it's
Not smart.
I
There
just
was comments of people saying, why couldn't they shake in reefs and drop out reefs and it's like, holy God, I mean, holy Jesus.
I think from a sailor's point of view, it's actually like safety is coming into it. Like you're putting those boats through those paces, which you wouldn't have done. Never.
Well, if you're out there in 45 knots, you're going in a
you're
straight
not
line.
practicing doing driving practice, are you?
And you're going in a straight line, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
What was your feedback, Jordan? Did you watch it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm being glued to it, obviously. The thing, this sort of parallelogram course they're doing is a mistake because they shouldn't be doing. They're sort of. Remember, I explained the pursuit race idea.
Pursuit race,
yeah. So at the ends, rather than having it a parallelogram where you've got a downwind and an upwind, they should just have it like a diamond shape where you've just got a rounding mark where you have a tight reach and a broad reach, and you just tack around into a tight reach, broad reach, and then jibe, broad reach. So you don't have this upwind and downwind where the boats look stupid and slow. You just have them nuking around at full speed all the time. So if you're going to do
it's safer for the boats.
Safer for the boats.
And then all you do, maneuvers.
Yeah, and all you do to adjust for the wind is you flatten the course or deepen the course. You just that where the middle of the course is, you just move that in or out just to do it. But it's good. They want to get some good footage of the boats falling and looking fast. That's what they're wanting to do. So change the course around.
I did have some inside info because at the start they had a second photographer, camera person on board.
Yep.
On deck.
Yep.
And we saw the boats doing all those little motos around and just crashing in.
Mm-hmm.
And word has it, as they were getting picked up off the boats, once the boats hit that little light spot, literally it's like you've got 5 camera persons. Like they've just seen a ghost. Get me off of this spaceship. Ridiculous.
You watch during the Hobart, you watch the cameraman jump off after they get out their heads, right? And there's a few sharks off Sydney heads, but it's not that bad. But there's a few. But Jesus, jumping into the water in Cape Town, you're just basically jumping into a shark's mouth.
Well, fortunately, they'd all stopped anyway, so you could just go alongside and no dramas. The only you might get blown out of a humpback's bloody blow hole, but that's about it.
So the interesting thing is, since we talk about the start, but whilst the race has been going on, we've seen the delamination, hull delamination. We've seen sails go over the side, the mast repairs, the broken downhaul on 11th hour. I'm just intrigued. They don't have a boatyard anymore, do they?
No.
There's no everything
left to your own devices.
So I'm just, I'm wondering if things would be better if the boatyard was still there. I know that's kind of.
I mean, it had its place, right? All these boats, the only one design element is the actual keels and keel system and the rigs, right? So.
No,
I get that, but I just wonder with the consistency of the approach, or
I think there is consistency here, lads.
Yeah.
There is, and he's already got it sorted. He's bought the coal. He's ready to go. He's got the brisket ready to go. That is the boatyard. It's the new boatyard.
Okay,
the new boat. She comes out of the Komodo Joe smoker.
But we're back to the Volvo 70 era where boats were breaking all the time. We're back to that. We had the 65s where they just pushed like crazy, and now
bulletproof and had 30-minute finishes between each other after 4 weeks.
You could see wholesome PRB. They, it's the best way to describe it is like, when you're paddling onto a wave, like basically we paddle, and when you're out there paddling and you hook a wave and you ride it longer than anyone else, so they've just been hooked that weather system, and extended. And you could see from on board that they were just throttled back a little bit, and which was smart because they knew everyone was going to drop into that that hole and sit there. And now they've got, they had a 600-mile lead. Now it's down to 510. But things will close up, I guess. But,
another ridge they're all coming into, but
Rubber band effect.
it's
race to Bicey's place.
yeah,
Race
race
to
to my
Bicey.
joint, basically.
That's a T-shirt right there. Race to Bicey's.
Race to Bicey's joint.
The Ocean
But-
Race. Ocean Race 23.
Race to
Race to
Bicey's
Bice.
joint for a brisket. Some pulled pork hamburgers.
But so that system they were riding, they've sailed it beautifully. They just sat there and watching the other boats fall out of it. That boat, Wholesome, she's fast. She's very fast. I think if we had to choose a boat right now, I thought once it got windy, we were going to see 11th hour really charge. But don't
Which
you
we
think
might see in the next few hours, next
Yeah.
day or two.
Yeah.
And Militia for that matter.
Mm.
But in saying that though, sailing a race buttoned off the whole time because they won't be able to sail full noise in 25 knots.
No, not in those oceans.
No.
No.
And it's already been shown. But this is where you got to be tactical. I mean, you make the right tactical decision, and all of a sudden you've got a 500 rubber band to play with.
Mm.
You know,
Well, and also managing the boat, right? Like Abby said, you just can't slow them down.
No.
Which is cool. Like, don't get me wrong, the boats are super, super cool.
no question.
But trying to control the beast. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting Abby on the show when she gets in. I think she'll come.
She
on.
won't be able to hear us, mate.
That's right. We'll just talk loud.
What?
Anyway, we're into
Danger.
it. Right?
About to be asked one question. Danger. Warning.
Three idiots. Three idiots.
we're
Three
into
idiots. Warning. 3 idiots.
There's
Incoming.
at least there's boats still racing. There's 4 boats racing out of the 5. You have to suspect with that delamination. Bossy, you're the expert here, or actually you're both experts on this one. With Geo environment, are they going to just go on a ship, do you reckon? Or are they going to?
No, she's going to go on a ship back the other way, heading
across
west
the Atlantic, yeah.
to get
now it had every opportunity
get
but
to
it
Brazil.
it was never going to get done.
I mean, it's not
The
that hard
boat's
to
about to be
repair.
lifted out the water, rigs coming out, full assessment, NDT,
Yep.
the whole business. But I'd say she'd probably not necessarily beat the other boats there, but if there's a ship going soon, get on it straight away.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
That's the advantage, I guess, of such a long leg.
Yeah.
You're not missing
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Actually, bravo, Ocean
Yeah.
Race. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the boat that pulls into Adelaide to repair.
Oh no,
you have to go on a ship.
they get time added on,
They're in
taken
deep
away
trouble.
actually.
Taken away, yeah.
All right.
Oh, and
Cool.
they'll be super happy with the brisket. Come on.
All right. Let's keep it going. What do we got?
Yeah, come on, let's finish it up. Let's keep rolling. What are we up?
All right, yeah, geez, we're running a bit short on time, gents. So
Jesus, we are. It's been a fun
only other-
episode.
The key thing here is, and we spoke about it. There's been a lot in the production space this year. We had, or as spoken about, JB's Netflix.
Mhm.
We had Jess Watson's
Yes.
film.
Yep.
We had the Sharpie from the ground up.
Yep.
That Harry produced and put
All of
together.
which
And
have been a
now-
big integral part of Baccarati.
Well, 100%. Third leg, fourth leg,
Fourth
whatever
leg.
we call him. And then now, Buddy Melger's doco
Yeah.
coming out.
Looking forward to that.
Worth
World premiere.
sighting, I would imagine. Now, this will be really good.
We've been
Yeah,
trying to
big
get him on
fan.
the show. I think we need to push that a bit harder, lads.
Well, yeah. Yep. It's the world premiere, The Wizard of Zenda, to show 10 a.m. Saturday, March 25th, Annapolis Film Festival at Maryland Hall. There you go.
And what was it? Shafe, a avid listener, John Shafe, he has called it. They're going to Zelda's post this for the bar karate. What did he call it? The bar karate
He's gotta
carnival.
stop. I'm worried about him using our name when he's not literally part of our show. That's the end.
Oh,
Just got to
no.
be careful.
No. All what is all publicity is good
Oh,
publicity.
yeah.
It's not in the States. I'll tell you the problems. Yeah. So that'll be a good one. The Sail GP fan-owned team, I think that's the thing to mention. That's definitely going ahead. New Zealand's definitely going ahead. I don't know what sort of mix of wings we're going to have, but New Zealand.
So all the
Christchurch,
small wings got destroyed, right?
not all of them. No.
Well, not all, but
because most of
small
them
wings got destroyed. Big wings are available.
No, the ones that are
No,
on
no,
boat
it
were
doesn't
fine.
work that way. They're modular. So there's two inserts that go into the wings, right? So the
Yep.
small wings on the boats,
All
and
fine.
then if you want the next wing, you put an insert in. If you want the bigger wing again, you put another insert in.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
The inserts got damaged. Some of them.
some of the inserts got damaged, and the Australia and New Zealand small wings were in that marquee when that Canadian wing went on the rampage. It went
bunter.
It went seal
got
clubbing.
its club and started whacking a few things.
It started seal clubbing.
Yeah.
So I
Seal
know,
bashing.
so they reckon they're going to have at least 8 boats on the line, and not quite sure what sort of wing setup. So we'll wait and find out. But yeah,
Have you got like some inside goss off your little inside WhatsApp group?
no
one
been-
listens anyway. Yeah, we're right. By this time of the show, they've all signed off.
Everyone's gone to bed by now.
It's been strangely quiet, is all I'll say. I might have been cut off.
Fair
Anyway,
enough.
but yeah, it's going
Very good.
And the last one, I just thought I'd mention world champs, flying 15 world champs starting at the end of this week
Oh, yes.
in Fremantle. Yeah, that'd be cool.
God,
Hey?
that'd be an arduous task, wouldn't it?
In a
This
15
time of year, hopefully it's not
No,
cranking
a bit
20,
lighter, yeah.
25 every.
This time of
every
year
day.
starting to drop off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been
So-
light before.
Yes.
Lads.
Anyway,
Lads, congratulations.
yeah.
Well done.
Now, the big news.
Oh,
We have got a super guest next week if he bothers to turn up.
Or if we just really want to keep all bases covered, or if he or she bothers to turn up.
Good point. Good point. Yes. Anyway, yeah, it's 200 episodes in the can, and
done and dusted.
we just love the fact that you guys let us do this. I think that's the truth of it. You know, like if, on all honesty, if there was only one listener, we'd probably still do it, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Well, there is.
No,
only-
I mean, you must get it down the local BP
oh,
pub.
mate,
Like a few listeners just come
Mate,
up and
today,
hello.
every day, even on the boat today. You know, like got given the wine to open up. He said, "Make sure you open it up on the bar." And
yeah.
Right.
Cool. So
Cool.
excellente. Well
You're
done.
going to get out
gents.
the special guitar, BP?
yep, get it out.
The special one? You got
Oh,
a special
did
one?
you go wing dinging today, Jordan?
I went wing dinging yesterday, mate.
How'd
I
you
had
go?
a
Can you do it?
glamour run. So I've had I had that 6-month interval with the dud knee, and back on it, and yeah, I
Can
had
you
a
do it?
glamour run. I started to really get it.
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I
so
haven't even got
exciting.
mine out of the bag yet, so
Oh,
I'm going pretty well.
I haven't even bought one yet.
just ring Sandy.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Yeah, no, I
Earthquake.
should- you okay, mate?
Earthquake. You know, like
no, it's a ton of fun.
Righto.
Absolute ton of
Good on
fun.
you.
And yeah, so I will say, like I'm only 5 or 6 goes in, and every run yesterday I was falling. Every run,
yeah, cool. How big's
Well
the board?
done.
How many
It's
literage?
125 litre.
Shall we
for-
save this for after the show?
No, and the
Is
last
this-
thing I wanted to
is
say,
this what sort of fall is it? AC
oh, come on,
96,
we'll do
960,
this
whatever
after
it
the
is?
show. After the show, but on nearly every run, I had a massive crash from the top of the fall as I boosted completely out, and so
Yeah.
not quite mastered.
Cool.
Yeah, but
That's
good fun.
okay. That's good though.
Yeah, no, it's good.
All right, get the guitar out.
Good. I've got
Here we
it.
go.
I've got it. Here we go. Go on.
Thanks for putting up with us, everyone. We love you.
Cheers, lads and ladies.